SCP-096, also known as the Shy Guy. This is a creature contained within the SCP Foundation. So, how would a blind individual fare against such a thing? Let's find out. Starting off, we must first answer the question, what is SCP-096? From what I know, SCP-096 is a very tall humanoid creature with ghostly pale skin and very long claws, and a very long jaw that can unhinge. I also believe that its eyes are a pale milky white, if I'm not mistaken. It has very high speeds, and its dormant state tends to be when it's, well, huddled in a ball, crying. The most notable trait about this thing is its face, because it does not like to be looked at. The moment anyone catches so much as a glimpse of this thing's facial features, it will be sent in an immediate rage and do everything in its power to hunt down and kill whoever saw it. It doesn't care if it was in person or through an image or a video. It will hunt them down. This begs the question, what can happen with somebody who can't exactly see its face? Whether it's because their vision is blurry, or pitch black, or perhaps even having light perception. Let's explore the different levels of blindness and find out. Starting off, we will be going through the different levels of blindness and seeing what exactly could go right and what could go wrong when against this creature. One immediate question that I am wondering, as I have not heard it be confirmed or denied as of this video, is whether or not if hearing a description of this thing's face can send it in a frenzy. If so, this is one of, if not possibly, the only way for certain blind individuals to be affected by this thing. Here are the three categories of blindness that we will be going through: low vision, legally blind, and completely blind. Starting off with low vision. This gives us a very wide range to play with, as certain individuals who are low vision or just visually impaired can technically still see very clearly. This could involve certain parts of the vision being pitch black, while there are other parts that you can actually see out of being crystal clear. This also could involve individuals who have vision that is a bit blurry dependent on the distance too. This means that individuals who are in the low vision category are 100% at risk of being able to see the Shy Guy's face, and thus can actually send him into a rampage. As such, I would say that the low vision individuals here are by far the most at risk, specifically those who can actually see very clearly despite their visual impairment. Up next is the legally blind category. This is where things can begin to get a bit interesting. Legally blind individuals tend to have one eye that is not working, or maybe both of their eyes can still see out of. However, the best their vision can be is 2700. Anything 20 feet away looks like it's 700 feet away. This means that anything that they're looking at is most definitely going to be looking extremely blurry, meaning they can't exactly make out the facial features of SCP-096. So the question is, because their brain can't make out the facial features, at least at a distance, does this mean they are safe? My theory is no, they are not safe. If at any moment in time SCP-096's face comes into view, they are most definitely going to set it off into a frenzy. Here's my explanation. There was a record, I believe, in the SCP Foundation where somebody had a photograph of themselves, I believe it was, In the background, SCP-096 was nothing but a pixel, meaning you can't make out its facial features. And yet, it still got set off and ran after this individual to kill them. What this means is, even if the face is blurry or unrecognizable, because it's still his face, he still will be set off. Even if this were not the case, there is still the chance of him being set off if they were to get a closer glimpse of him, because the closer that these legally blind individuals were to get, the more clearer the face would become. The chances of this happening are very limited, but can happen. This means that the legally blind individual is very highly at risk, and I would even say they are more at risk than a sighted individual, because they can walk by 096, not realize that they are looking in his direction, and set him off. That is a very quick and sudden death. You wouldn't see it coming, literally. Lastly is the completely blind individual. I will go through two categories of the completely blind individual. This is one with light perception and without light perception. With light perception, basically your vision is pitch black. You can't see anything. But if there is a light on, you can tell that it is on, as something will be lighting up there. Maybe your vision starts becoming white or blue or something like that in certain spots, dependent on whether or not if you can see color. This is the one I would say I am actually unsure about, because if light does reflect off of 096, would that count as seeing his face? That is something I do not know. This means that for a completely blind individual who has light perception, this isn't an unknown category. It is unclear if they are at risk or not. Someone who is completely blind, I would say that they are not at risk whatsoever. There is literally no way for them to catch a glimpse of 096 in any shape, way, or form. Not through light, not even through a blurry image, nothing. This means they can likely walk by and not realize that it's there, except for the sobbing, of course. This means that blind individuals, specifically those who cannot see anything whatsoever, are by far the safest when it comes to navigating around 096. 096 is actually a particular situation for a blind or low vision individual to be met with. This SCP has the capability to actually affect all three categories, and it would be very, very difficult for a blind individual to get away. Think about it for a minute. If you are somebody, whether you're in the low vision, legally blind, or completely blind with light perception, and you actually set this thing off, there's not going to be much you can do. Low vision individuals would not, well, they have a chance of seeing him coming, but it would be much harder as their peripheral view might be limited, or maybe it could even be in the center view of their vision. This would make it very easy for 096 to catch them by surprise. The same goes for legally blind, as they literally wouldn't know it's him, because it's a blurry shape. And completely blind with light perception, assuming they can actually set him off. Blind individuals who can't see anything whatsoever would be perfectly fine in this scenario. There is literally nothing for them to worry about. In fact, so much so that I would even say, well, they could probably contain this thing without any issue if they know what equipment they're working with. They could literally get rid of him. There is one thing though. I don't know if a completely blind individual could still set it off by just having its eyes face in its direction. I don't know if 096 just reacts to eyes landing on its face, or if it genuinely knows when its face has been viewed. While this does mean that completely blind without light perception could also be considered in this unknown category when it comes to danger, it does still mean it is the safest by far, and likely to not be affected whatsoever by 096. In conclusion, 096 is a massive threat to those individuals who cannot see. Despite the fact that it would be much harder for them to see its face, technically anyway, people who are legally blind or even people who are just low vision could accidentally catch a glimpse of its face and not realize it. And it doesn't matter if it's blurry, because just one pixel can set it off. This is an analysis to see how a blind person might survive in this particular situation. If you are interested in other scenarios, comment down below what scenario you would like to see next, and I might be able to do it. I also write stories on this channel, original creepypastas, for those who are interested in storytelling.